What is going on, Scorpio? Welcome to your weekly forecast for November 2nd through November 8th of 2020. Happy birthday to you all if it's your birthday. And if you're a Leo rising, well, thanks for being here. As always, hope you had a great weekend, great Halloween. And let's jump into it. There is a lot going on. We get Mercury stationing. That's Venus. That's Mercury. We'll talk about Venus in a second. Mercury stationing direct in your 12th house. It spent time in your first house too. So I think that in a sense you've been internalizing, yourself in a big way and how you want to express your own desires. And then it came back into the 12th house where it gets it could get a little lost and really in Libra too, weigh some things out. But in a sense, it's trying to connect you to yourself. It's trying to connect that self to the universe and to the wholeness of everything and to the spiritual things. And I think that there's a responsibility to communicate your spiritual desires with this week-long square to Saturn in your third house. Like there's definitely, you've internalized a lot and it's time to let it out, and you don't want to restrict yourself from that communication in any way. Like get it out there and make sure that, if there's any sort of relationship issues or people in your life that you need to express that to that, let it out. And make sure that, you're in yourself. And of course, that sun in your first house, it's a whole new cycle of you, right? So, you take all that year in and if you're a Scorpio sun, of course, and actualize yourself and really get your desires in line with how you're going to make them happen and go do it. Yeah. So Venus, of course, in your 12th house too, it's definitely feeling all the dreaminess of life right now. And I think that it can feel good the more you just explore the universe and the more you explore the spirituality there. It could just feel really good and comfortable. And I think that it can be really aesthetically pleasing if you're not just nitpicking everything. And I say that because, well, it's going to be opposing the midpoint of, that's not really a good line to that, but the midpoint of Chiron and Mars. And by the end of the week, it's going to be in opposition to Mars. So in a sense, there's a lot going on in your sixth house of health, routine, the daily life, the daily grind. And it would feel good if you didn't put too much weight on that and stress out too much and to really find yourself and connect to more, just to expand in with the universe and let that beauty take over and guide you towards new routines and to whatever's going to feel the best. In that sense, the moon is going to be on top of the North Node Rahu early in the week, and it's going to square Neptune. So I would say that that's definitely something that could come up to where, you got to release any sort of obsessions and make sure that you're renewing your desires for yourself right now and transmuting energy that isn't of a creative nature. And, don't be delusioned by your own self-actualization and your own self-creativity. Own that and really shine from that place and transmute the energy so that you can break away and detach from what isn't, from any feelings towards yourself that isn't, taking you to the next level. It's time to level up. And then that moon's going to come into Cancer. It's going to oppose all the Capricorn energy in your third house. I would say that, it's trying to find that balance here this week in a sense of also making sure that the environment's what you want it and having structure there and being able to communicate in that way and get that message out. That's very important right now. But it's also important to let new information come in and to I would say let the universe also kind of open you up to more things. There's a lot of opening up going on right now with Scorpio. And I think you need to be willing to let the universe and not so much just the narrow reality guide you. And that, it's to balance the both. There's always a balance. And I think that will help a lot. And then that moon comes into Leo where things start to get crazy next weekend for the third quarter square to the sun. And then that moon's going to quincunx Neptune. It's going to trine Mars. It's going to quincunx Jupiter. It's going to do all of that while in the third quarter square. And then the sun's going to be in quincunx to Mars retrograde, trining Neptune. I mean, it's a lot. So there's a lot of quincunxes. There's a lot of trines coming this weekend. And I think that moon in the 10th in Leo is really trying to have you look long term and make sure that you're emotionally in your foundation to go for that and to let the future be what you're working towards, whether it's goals. There's a responsibility to express what's going to feel good long term and for yourself on a very individual level. And I think that that's really where it's at. I think there's a lot of expression, a lot of, doing it your own way, and letting the universe kind of guide you this week. And I think even with all these quincunxes, it could feel very guided, or just like the universe is taking you in one way or another, and you're just like, oh, like how, okay. Like a lot of that going on, because those quincunxes are very much like, being on a puppet on strings, and just, oh, I don't know why I'm. And with the trines too, it can feel a little bit easier and more natural, but I think that the universe is trying to really show you that creativity within yourself, and you just need to own it and just want it and do it your way, and not nitpick the little things in life, but to expand and renew what you truly desire. The Nine of Cups reversed. Yeah, I would say that if you're not, giving yourself that nurturing support and that value of yourself, it's going to be really hard to let go. Like a lot of the times, we can hold on to feelings that aren't, actually nurturing and aren't taking us to the next level. And those are the ones that are trying to get renewed and shipped out. Like you got to go for your desires. You got to go for what makes you truly feel good, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself and trusting in the universe to get you there. And I think that, it's definitely gets heavy next weekend, but overall pretty positive week. Express what you want in life and go after that, and let new information come in, and don't be afraid to share that information that comes in from the universe, and how it aligns with you, and be in your truth, and try not to, I guess, nitpick reality too much, because there's a lot of energy that's saying just let the universe guide you. Love you very much, Scorpio. Hope you have a great week. Peace.